An aspect of human nature.
Ignorance. Human selfishness and ignorance. Things that breed hatred and contempt. And I don't believe it's an outside force. I believe that the devil is, and what's scary about it is that it's within all of us. Nobody's free from this aspect of devilness that I suppose babies are. Babies are, children are, but they develop it quite quickly. Well, it's good for things which on the one hand can be quite pleasurable if one takes pleasure in those kinds of things. Envy and lust and greed, things like that, but which are quite destructive to others, and even I suppose to ourselves in the end. That's everything and everywhere. I think that God is the universe and everything that we can see as well as everything that we can't. But I think of God as enlightenment, total bliss, and that when you discover that truly, you don't really need to be here anymore. An illusion? I don't know what you mean. Buddhists would say it was all illusion, all Maya. They might be right. God is our true nature that we have lost. My greatest fear? Loneliness. Reading. More than anything, I think. Being able to momentarily join in someone else's world. I was thinking about this yesterday. Things that I was ashamed of are, there are lots, but all the times when I've been spiteful and hurtful and a complete bitch to people because I'm jealous of them. Scornful. Very cold. You've given me nothing. I give you nothing. Weak and painful and a victim and frail. It's when the insects come down. I do insects as well. I would teach them thoughtfulness and stillness. All you have to do is lie down, relax your body, move only to breathe, and allow your body to start to quiet. I would and I have to blow things up and just... I don't know. I think for some people, they do that because they feel they have nothing else. Create terror. If you feel like they're not being listened to any other way, that's what... They're desperate people. I think that some terrorists are desperate people. The terror was coming from different places, for different... And the terror has continued and people aren't still awake. That I would have people write personal messages, little tiny messages to people. I'd have my troops write little tiny sort of questions and messages and observations and plant them on people's things and in their pockets and around them, so that it was one of these kind of sneaky up things, but so that people would feel like they were being watched, and they think that only they would be being watched, that their behaviour was being kind of monitored and looked at, and they were being observed by something greater, but actually it wouldn't be. Everyone would be getting these little messages going, what was the last thing you did that made someone laugh? I saw what you did yesterday, that was out of order. You know, little pinpricks on someone's conscience that would just appear in small places, and so that people would be more aware of their behaviour and the consequences it had on others, and make them think about what they were doing. And it would come as this little filtery, tiny things that would make people become a bit more sensitive. No, I don't know. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm just myself. Feelings are the only thing that's real. Embarrassment, yeah. It's a real... It's been quite an important thing in my life, and I wonder why. I wonder whether my fear of being embarrassed has led to my wanting to control that by wanting to perform and kind of take charge of being embarrassed. There have often been times where you think, this is so extreme, it'll be the end of the world, and it hasn't been yet. The Second World War wasn't the end of the world, the nuclear bombs weren't the end of the world, and I kind of think we've still got a while to go. It's not going to be in 20 years' time that if we finish ourselves up. I think it's going to take longer. The world in 20 years from now, more turmoil, more contrast, extremes. It's becoming more violent. Yeah, it will. I think in 20 years from now it will still be here. And yeah, already every year, I don't know if it's just the media or my perception, but more floods, more earthquakes, more droughts, all at the same time, and they'll spread, and the contrasts will get bigger and bigger, and the destruction will get more extreme, but it will still be here, I think. If history is a story, does it have an end? I don't think I understand that. Yeah, the end of this bit will be some sort of self-destruction. Yeah. Yeah, the people who haven't already been killed will be. I don't know there'll even be Earth left after that. I think that will have gone as well. I'm just standing still here.
Plasma.
Plasma. No, I don't know about plasma. I don't know. I'd ask me something else. I don't understand questions about space. You can't do that. Ask me about something different.
Yeah.
I suppose the truth will tell you whether you exist or not. Humanity is here to discover who it really is. That's the start. There have been a few times when I felt trapped. The main ones were when I was growing up, when I was still a child. When I feel trapped, my defence is to go hard and go tough, I suppose. And when I feel trapped, I feel hard inside, and that the only way I can cope with being trapped is to kind of be as stiff and hard as those bars or whatever themselves. I think for me some of the consequences of being trapped are just how to handle being trapped and turning myself into something more negative, actually. I don't think it goes for me that just being pushed one way will make me resist and push back the other. It doesn't always go like that. Yes. Like water and sunlight. See, it was contentment, it was bliss, it was serene and joyful. To achieve what we're supposed to achieve, we need to vibrate higher. Our vibrations be higher, and then you can kind of leave this is heavy and solid. Leaving the earth, leaving one's body, leaving the physical. By being enlightened, I think that's what enlightenment is.
I'm in the right place, but I do not know where I am. I had not expected this to happen. But that's of little consequence. I'm floating. I can't be sinking or else I wouldn't be able to breathe. I am sinking. It's getting darker and darker. I'm moving with the rhythm of the water. Nothing seems to matter. It's just getting darker and darker. I'm moving with the rhythm of the water. I hear water lapping. Sound of bubbles and energy. I'm consumed by the water. I'm not drowning. Is the water warm or cool? It doesn't seem to matter. Nothing seems to matter. The water, and me. Me in the water. It's getting darker and darker. I'm moving with the rhythm of the water. I hear the water rippling, lapping. My body, I can still feel my body. I don't need it anymore. What does life need? Nothing. Death's over me. The warm, cool, all becoming waters of death. Never mind. Darker. Calmer. Darker. Calmer. Ebbing. Wash away. Ebbing. I'm moving away. I'm going. I'm scared. I am scared. I'm scared. Calm. Curious. I'm going.
It's a bit busier than when I usually come there. In tins. Most of the stuff I don't buy at all. But I quite like to walk down and just see what's there. Look, very lazy ginger. So I come to look at things and be on my own and walk around in a bit of a daze and feel like I'm not part of humanity, but neither is anyone else in here. Sometimes you need a break. Sometimes I like to have a break. And then by the time you get to the end, you can't wait to get out. And it's nice to feel alive again once you leave. But it's... Oh no, I need to get some risotto, I think. See, look, here we are. I always find I come to the supermarket thinking, yes, I can have anything I like. And once I get here, don't want anything at all. And nothing really appeals, just sort of going, well, I could have 58 packets of crisps. I could do that. And actually, I don't give a toss. Everything looks the same and I don't know what it is. When would I go? I don't want to be anywhere else really, but where I am. In time, I don't think. I don't have any great sort of thing about wanting to be an Egyptian or anything like that. I'm a famous musician of body parts. I can play your kidney like no one else. Look at my trolley, it's got ridiculous things in it. That's okay. Once I'm under hypnosis, I tried to discover why I got nervous singing, and I found myself in, not a hut, a house, in, I don't know when it was, when was Robin Hood? Stone house in a forest, open fire, kind of made Marion hair, all that. Stone things, cold, quite England. I'd done something very bad, and the dogs were trying to find me. Someone had tied me up, yeah, and people were looking for me to punish me. And I could hear their dogs, I could hear them. I was petrified and I knew I mustn't make a sound, otherwise I'd be found. Shall I move this now? That was a previous life I apparently remember. I don't know that I really remember it, but it came up when nothing else ever has. Do you want some snacks? I think that I would feel I had a duty to try and survive as long as I could. But in case anyone ever arrived from somewhere else, to tell them what had happened. I like my meat to look like it's come from an animal. Yeah, once I was away and a deer was still alive. It was caught, and it was huge actually in Spain, and we had to kill it. Smashed it on its head with a big stone. Watched a programme about people training on the SAS, and they were saying that some people in the SAS and all this stuff didn't survive because they got into woodland and they weren't prepared to eat squirrels. They weren't prepared to catch animals and eat them. I was like, but you're prepared to drop bombs on people and you're not willing to kill a squirrel. I'm sorry, but fuck off. Please, I mean, what is that about? I try and talk to people's brains in a way that they go, okay then, let me be healed. Next time it'll just be straight on, I do it, you believe it or you don't, and if you want to get healed, you let me do it. In psychotherapy, I've been in hypnotherapy. Well, I suppose yoga's therapy.
Are you insane?
I don't think so. Maybe. Doesn't bother me.
He says he's looking for music magazines, but actually he's looking at pictures of women. Check out. Do you like that you exist? If you discovered that you existed and this is it, it would be horrible.
I invented this. Do you want to see what I invented? This. How tragic is that?
Fish
If
sauce.
it were not for me.
It's not tasty, but it's
The thing is, yeah.
It's really deep, man. So this is the meaning and the purpose of this present incarnation.
Well, clearly, it could have been. It could have been. It could have been. Maybe that's why I like supermarkets. That I do have a little something to give to the supermarket. That's why I keep coming back here.
Supermarket.
So, that makes sense what you're saying. I just kind of, that's not how I felt it myself.
That's just fine.
So we'll go, which one was it?
Are you allowed to film, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.